Level up your success with the ICABA World Network, where accomplished Black professionals and entrepreneurs have created a thriving global ecosystem built from valuable connections and impactful collaborations. Be a part of a trusted network that uplifts, inspires, and enhances your success. Join like-minded and leading Black professionals to foster meaningful relationships, unlock opportunities, and access the resources you need to thrive in your career, business, and life. Go to ICABAWorldNetwork.com and join today.
So good morning, everybody, and welcome to ICABA Biz Connect. I think we have a second host on here. I hear someone talking to their friend, so go ahead and mute if you may need to. And we're so happy to have you here today. And we've got an exciting ICABA Biz Connect lined up for you today. And so I want to welcome you. And as we always do, we start out with a welcome from ICABA, and want to introduce, for those who are new to ICABA, a little bit about who we are and what we do. So I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. And so ICABA is about excellence, creating wealth, and also elevating leadership. And we connect, collaborate to elevate in our community so that you will enhance your career, business, and lifestyle success. That's who we are and what we do, and we're so glad that you're here. I want to introduce you to our community engagement manager, none other than the fabulous Sherry Farquhar. Sherry, say hello.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to see you all here. I'm looking forward to another great Biz Connect.
All right. And also our producer, the one and only, Miss Michelle Bland. Say hello, Michelle.
Hello.
So this is the ICABA team that is bringing you the ICABA Biz Connect. And so we are now going to get ready to introduce our first speaker, our featured speaker, none other than the worldwide famous Walter Bond, National Hall of Fame speaker. And we're going to pull up his profile. And here we go. Thank you, Michelle. And Michelle, if you would hit the green button at the top left, and so we can see that full screen. Top left. As they say, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. So Walter Bond is a National Hall of Fame speaker. And as you can see a little bit where it says about Walter Bond, he helps you to accelerate your growth, to fulfill your potential, and achieve your aspirations. His superpower is motivation and business acceleration. And Michelle, you can continue to scroll down. And Walter's been speaking for over 20 years. He is a former NBA star. He stands 6'5", so you can't miss him. And Walter is just really a phenomenal speaker. He's been helping corporate executives and CEOs and serial entrepreneurs to go from where they are today to that next level of greatness that they're looking to achieve. And I can't tell you Walter's story any better than Walter can. So we're going to stop sharing now, and we're going to turn over the screen to Walter Bond. And Walter, we are going to say congratulations on all your success, and welcome to ICABA Biz Connect.
Well, you know, Jerome, thank you, man. And, you know, as I get to know you and get to know your heart, man, each time I engage with you, I feel more and more like your brother, and definitely want to support your efforts and what you're doing for our community globally. And I just want to just say welcome to everyone and just have a real simple conversation, you know, to tell you a little bit about my story. You know, I got a chance to play in the NBA, which means, you know, for 3 years, I got a chance to hang out with the best basketball players in the world. And as you guys know, the NBA is a global industry. And what I didn't realize that I really was just doing research. My parents are teachers. My older brother's a preacher. And that's where I come from. I come from preachers and teachers. I married an entrepreneur, Miami native, and we launched our business 23 years ago, helping others become peak performers. And not only did I make it to the NBA, I'm a Hall of Fame motivational speaker. There's only 200 alive. So I just want to lay the foundation that I realize my purpose is to help others become peak performers. And I had this dream of being an NBA superstar and playing 15 years in the NBA, and that wasn't it. You know, God wanted me to have a cup of coffee and taste it. Right? And I made some mistakes, right? So when I share my story and everything that I teach, it's really from the vantage point of what I did right and what I did wrong. And the beauty of making mistakes, I was able to grow from it. And that's what positioned me to become a Hall of Fame motivational speaker. Let me tell you one more story, and it's painful, but it's a good lesson. I went to the All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis, and they let former players in free. Now, as a Hall of Fame motivational speaker, when I go around speakers, man, I'm that dude. I go to NBA All-Star Weekend and couldn't hardly get in any place, and people didn't even believe I played in the NBA. I had to have other players vouch for me, and it was uncomfortable. It was awkward, but it was my fault. Why? Because I was a good ball player, but I was not great. I had an average NBA career, but I was not seen as an NBA face. And so I took all the mistakes I made from my basketball career and I took what I did right and I meshed them into our new career. So I want you guys to hear me clearly. We've created a very simple formula. Okay. And this is what we do for our clients all over the world, whether you're a big company like Jersey Mike's, which is our biggest company. We've been working with them for 8 years. We've helped with their culture. We've helped with their training and development. We've had a major impact with Jersey Mike's. They become family. And right now we're in a position to slowly take over for Subway and win a sub game. All right. So I want you to know right now, whatever industry you're in, you're on a journey to become elite. All right. And you can become at the top of your food chain if you listen to the formula that we teach. And I'm going to share it real quickly. And I want you guys to understand how I think and how I see the world. And I think it'll make total sense to you as I share my screen. I got ahead of myself and went to the screen before I actually shared it. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you guys can all see my screen. All right. You know, the world I live in is very simple. And it goes back to my sports background. The same thing is true in business, right? There's winners, there's losers, and there's champions. And if you look at the data for small business owners, I'm sure you guys would agree there's a whole lot of losers. Within 10 years, about 80% of small businesses fail when they don't have to. They had a great idea, right? But what went wrong along the way that didn't let this great idea reach its potential? So I want you guys to understand that in your journey as a business leader, you're either going to win, you're going to lose, and you're going to become a champion. When I think about business, Walmart is a champion. You guys agree? When I think about business, McDonald's is a champion. You guys agree? But if we take a deeper look, Blockbuster used to be a champion, but that kingdom failed. For my men in the building, years ago, Friday night, it was our job to go to Blockbuster and come back with 3 movies. Am I right or wrong? If you didn't come back with 3 movies, man, you were not a good father, man. 2 for the kids, 1 for mom and dad, right? And hopefully we can get through the 2 kid movies and not fall asleep and mom and dad have a glass of wine, right? Where's Blockbuster right now? They lost. They lost it all. Everybody here's had a BlackBerry, right? Where's your BlackBerry now? The moral of the story, in order to be successful over a long period of time, okay, we created a formula, all right? It's fitting. I'm in Dallas, Texas, played for the Dallas Mavericks. We were the 2nd worst team in the history of the NBA. We were losers, bro, right? We were dysfunctional. We were chaotic. We had no methodology. And that's why it's important to understand how important it is to be a winner. We left the Dallas Mavericks, and I got a chance to play for the Utah Jazz. We were winners. I hung around great players, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Jerry Sloan. Got to experience what winning was like. But for 5 days, okay, I was in camp with the world champion Chicago Bulls. When I say Mike in basketball, everybody know who I'm talking about. Am I right or wrong? For 5 days, I was exposed to a champion. So the way I see business, you're going to be a winner, you're going to be a loser, and you're going to be a champion. All of us are going to fall into one of those categories, all right? So what I'm going to do next is give everyone a chance to basically get exposed to our formula of how we create peak performance. This formula does not need to be checked. It does not need to be questioned. It does not need to be challenged. This formula will work if everyone just buys into the formula. This is the culmination of what I learned on my way to the NBA and what I learned becoming a Hall of Fame motivational speaker. And if you understand the formula, you can become a champion in your business. Put in the chat. If you want to be a champion, just put yes in the chat for me. Just say, yes, I want to be a champion. Just put yes. Y-E-S, I want to be a champion. The truth is, most people are just happy winning, right? I'm paying my bills. I'm making payroll. I'm good. I don't have to listen to no crazy people. I left my company. All them people were crazy, right? And I'm doing my own thing. I'm good. These people just settle on winning. I'm like, winning is nice. There's nothing wrong with winning. But if you can be a champion, why wouldn't you be a champion? If you can become elite, why not be elite? There's only been 5,000 people to wear an NBA jersey. I can honestly tell people that I was a part of that fraternity of 5,000 men who got a chance to wear that jersey. There's only 200 Hall of Fame motivational speakers. That's a tougher accomplishment than playing in the NBA, in my opinion. So my journey has really taught me the formula, okay? And so my purpose and what we do as a company is to teach all of our clients our formula. And the backdrop of what I told Jersey Mike's 8 years ago on their national stage, I'm keynoting, and it started the revolution. I merely made a statement, let's go and kick Subway's butt. Y'all looked at me like, what? That's Subway. No, I'm an athlete. Let's go compete, right? Why not compete? You guys have a competition in your business. Am I right or wrong? There's somebody that does exactly what you do. Let's go compete. And you know what? The best team's going to win. 8 years ago, I made that statement to Jersey Mike's. And let me tell you something. Something happened to that culture. It's almost like I gave them permission to compete with Subway. When you get bored one day, at lunchtime, drive by Subway and drive by Jersey Mike's, and a story is being told. Subway just closed 10,000 locations. Jersey Mike's, we're opening up 300 stores a year. Kingdoms rise and fall all the time. So whoever the king is in your industry, you coming to get them. Whoever is ahead of you in the business, don't worry about it. You're going to gain on them and you're going to pass them down, all right? Because in sports, the best team's going to win. And I want to position everyone at ICABA that we're going to win and we're going to win big. And here's the formula. Are you ready? I want y'all to hear me clearly. I became the best in the world in 2 different industries, and this is what I learned. Are you guys ready? It's impossible to reach your potential without an advisor. Impossible. Impossible. It is absolutely impossible for you to become the best version of you without some type of advisor, guide, or coach. Our favorite movie, Karate Kid, had Mr. Miyagi. Who would Rocky be without Mickey in his corner? Let me teach you something powerful. Michael Jordan quit basketball right after his dad died. And he wouldn't play baseball. Why? He lost his guide. He lost his advisor. He got confused. Michael Jordan lost his father. He lost his advisor. And Michael Jordan, for 2 years, walked away from the game confused because he lost his guide. I told anyone that will listen to me, his father must have loved baseball. Somehow he's mourning his dad through baseball. And I heard him on a documentary talk about it 10 years later. He said, man, I went to go play baseball because my dad loved baseball and he always told me I should play baseball. Michael Jordan, the best ever, got lost. When did Tiger Woods lose his weight in golf? Anybody know? Put it in the chat. When did Tiger Woods lose his way in golf?
When his dad died.
Come on, Jerome. Come on. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods needed guides. And Tiger Woods never got it back. Michael Jordan got it back. He got back on track. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So I am convinced, Mr. Miyagi, Mickey, Michael Jordan, come on. So my question is, who is your advisor? Who is your guide? We go to church and we choose a pastor because that's our what? Spiritual guide. So if you don't have a guide right now, you're violating the formula. If you don't have a coach right now, you're violating the formula. You might be winning right now, but man, if you have an advisor or a coach or a guide that can take you to the top of the food chain, that might be the difference in you winning big. Does that make sense? The second thing I learned is that everything you do must be systemized. And that's what we've done with our company. Your marketing should be systemized. Your onboarding should be systemized. Your leadership, everything about you, every client acquisitions, your everything about what you do should be systemized. And I learned that through franchise. I work with some of the top franchises in the world, and I'm telling you, they have systemized everything. So when you become a franchisee, guess what? You don't have to think for yourself. All you have to do is learn the system and execute. That's why Big Mac in Germany tastes exactly like the Big Mac I grew up eating on 87th Street and Stony Island on the south side of Chicago. Isn't it incredible? The same exact Big Mac you can have anywhere in the world because they have completely systemized everything that they do all the way down to the French fry. So can I ask you a question? Have you systemized everything? Do you have processes for everything? People formulas require everything to be a process or a system. If you can systemize everything that you do, you'll be efficient, you'll get more done with less people, and you'll be very, very organized. So my first two questions, who's your guy? The second question is, hey, what's your system? What's your process? I'm telling you, I learned this on my way to becoming elite in two totally different industries. What are you committed to? This is the third thing I learned. What are you committed to? What are you committed to? Now, this is deep right now. This is deep. You guys know I flunked out my first high school? Oh, I'm a thought leader now. I got 4 books. I just signed a new book deal. And here's why I flunked out my first high school. I was committed to a C. Committed. I went to this top high school, top academic school, and C was not going to cut it. But I was committed to a C. If I got an A on the midterm, guess what I would do? Relax. Oh, I'm good. I got an A on the midterm, and I would just take all I would just take it easy because, well, I got an A on the midterm. I'm good. And before I knew it, when it got down to that final grade, somehow, some way, I fell back to that C. Why? Because that's what my commitment was. If I was falling behind the C, I would cram, right? Until I can get it back up to a C. Why? Because I was committed to a C. Can I ask you a question? Honestly, what are you committed to? What are you committed to? Some people are committed to barely making payroll every 2 weeks. They've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for 10 years. Make payroll. Hallelujah. Oh, I'm coming up a little short. Got to let some people go. I mean, you can do that for the next 20 years if you're not careful. Why? Because you're committed to it. It's become a lifestyle. Come on, city people. Do you guys know people who are committed to welfare? You guys know any of those people? They're committed to Section 8. You guys know, I grew up with these people. They were committed to welfare, Section 8. They were committed to WIC and food stamps. It was a lifestyle. Why? Because they were committed. But that's what I was committed to becoming a millionaire. I wasn't broke before, but I wasn't committed to being broke. So can I ask y'all a real question? What are you really committed to? It's a deep conversation. Because at a subconscious level, you might be committed to something and not even aware of what you're committed to. So what we have to do is up your commitment level. Let's go and kick Subway's butt. Change their commitment, change their culture. We got to ask ourselves the question, what are we committed to? Some people are committed to being good. Some people are committed to being outstanding. So everybody on this call today got to make a decision and ask yourself the question, honestly, am I committed to chaos? Because we unorganized. We've been unorganized for a long time. Am I committed to dysfunction? Well, we're dysfunctional, and we've been dysfunctional for a long time. Eventually, all of us are going to settle in exactly what we're committed to. Can everybody hear what I'm saying? An A student in school is committed to what? An A. You guys know I live in a country club with 6 billionaires, and they laugh at going broke. They laugh at bankruptcy. They look at bankruptcy like a badge of honor. Like, you ain't no real business guy until you file bankruptcy at least once. I had a billionaire tell me, man, it's just money. If we lose it all, I go and get some more. I said, it's just so cavalier. and so nonchalant. Said it just like that. It was just like a pair of gym shoes. He said, I'm on his private jet. Says, just money. If it runs out, I'll go and get some more. Whoa. He's committed to being a matter of fact, he's a billionaire. And he understands how to get it. So he's not even worried about losing it because he knows how to get it back. He's committed to being a billionaire. Everything about his mindset is about being a billionaire. So he's not afraid to take risks. He's not afraid to take chances because he knows if he makes a mistake, he knows how to get it back because he knows the formula. Community. I can't tell you enough how important community is. Community is everything, guys, right? I'm from the South Side of Chicago. When I meet someone from the South Side, I can tell they're from the South Side. You can't fake it to me. If you're from the South Side of Chicago, you can't fake it. Why? Because I'm from the South Side. Our community dictates how we think. Our community dictates how we speak. You go to Jamaica, everybody got a Jamaican accent. I know a Chinese dude from Jamaica. And as soon as he opened up his mouth, he had a Jamaican accent. Community is powerful. Can I ask you guys a question? What community are you immersed in? Your salary will become the average of your 5 closest friends. These are all the things we create and provide in our training and development program, because I've understood something very important. In order to be successful in business, you must get immersed in a community of other successful business people. That's why we come to ICABA. That's why Jerome built ICABA, because we need to have the right community of the right entrepreneurs, because iron sharpens iron. In the basketball community, I got a chance to hang out with Michael Jordan. Whoa. In the motivational speaking community, I got a chance to hang out with Les Brown. Wow. We all know in our communities, if our sons get around knuckleheads, that's dangerous, am I right or wrong? Why? Because of the power of community. If we get our sons around some other good boys from good families doing the right thing, that community is powerful. So ICABA is that community. And my wife and I built Peak Performance Huddle. It's full and loaded with successful business people because community is everything. Finally, time. Time. We have to put time limits on everything. Can I ask y'all a question? What's taking you so long to get to your spot? You want to be a millionaire? What's taking so long? You want to be a multi-millionaire? What's taking so long? You got this side hustle, and you want to leave your full-time job. But what's taking you so long? I got a guy who does $10 million a year out of Minneapolis. You know what he told me? He said, man, I could easily be doing 25 million. Easy, man, easy. I said, well, what are we waiting on? I don't know. Comfortable. Time is everything. You can't say, you know, I'm going to write a book. Guarantee you there's some people on this call right now today who've been thinking about writing a book for a long time. If you don't put time pressure on you writing a book, will you ever write a book? You might. It might take you 10, 15 years. I wrote my first book in 90 days. Why? Because I wanted to write my book in 90 days. I just signed my book deal. Guess what? It comes with time limits. I have to produce this manuscript by February 1st, or I void my contract, because the book publisher knows if I don't give you a time limitation, right, you're not going to get this book done on time. In college, didn't that professor give us a date when that term paper was due? If you turn that term paper in late, many times the teacher didn't even accept it, right? So this is our formula. It's going to help you become a big winner in business. This is what we teach to Peak Performance Formula. We are guides. That's what we do. We guide our individual entrepreneurs. We guide our big companies. We got a client right now that does 350 million. We're going to take them to 2.2 billion. And we're going to guide them all the way through with our systems, right? And our community. And we have a time limit on how long it should take for them to get into where they need to be. Well, listen, I'm all out of time. I don't know if we have enough minutes for Q&A. I did want to share our formula of how you're going to become elite. And all we need you to do, honestly, is to buy in, to plug in, and me and Jerome moving forward are going to be connected at the hip, because I want everybody connected to ICABA, not just to win in business. I want you to become the champions of your industry, and you just happen to be Black. That's how we should be rolling. Like, you're the best in the world at what you do, and you just happen to have a darker hue than everybody else.
All right, Walter. So we do have a few minutes for some questions. I see Grant McCall jumped on it right away. So we'll take take your screen down and we're going to bring it up for some questions. And the question from Grant is, what was your biggest challenge? And let me make sure that I didn't miss any of it. Your biggest challenge in business is the question from Grant.
You know, my biggest challenge, Grant, in business was that when I left the NBA, I never had a job. And I didn't understand business. And so my wife hired me a business coach. I got a business advisor. Right. So, you know, when you've never had a job in your life other than playing basketball, which was a job in some regards, but I knew nothing about business. And so my advisor expedited my learning curve in business. And so my biggest challenge was that I didn't have any experience in business at all. But through an advisor, I was able to really collapse some time frames and learn some basic fundamentals around business and develop some basic business skills. So my lack of experience was my biggest challenge in business in the beginning.
Next question from Deeawn. She wants to know, how long did it take for you to become a certified millionaire?
You know what? It took, I want to say 10 years. It took about 10 years. I can confirm that with my wife. I think it took about 10 years. Let me think. I'm, 10 years or less. It took about 10 years or less.
Okay. I love the way you said that. You're going to confirm that with answer that.
And you know what? Jerome, you know, man, if I don't tell the truth, my wife will look at me cross-eyed, right? So I think it took about 10 years and
Okay.
somewhere in that time frame. But again, we had the vision to become millionaires, and to be totally transparent, we got there and we relaxed and took it easy. And then one day we were like, well, what's wrong with being multimillionaires?
Right.
Literally, we hit the benchmark, and you can tell a whole story around that. And I got very comfortable because that was my goal. And we sat there for about 5 years, and then it was like, wait a minute, what's wrong with being multi-millionaire? So that's what we're working on right now, the multi-million-dollar game.
All right. Fantastic. Well, listen, Seth Crapp has a question. We're going to try to get that in quickly. And I think there was one other one, and then we're going to close this part out. But Seth, I didn't see your question in. Here it is. I see it now in the chat. Do you modify your method to apply in niche industries? And then Abdul, I'll get your question in. So from Seth Crapp, do you modify your method to apply in niche industries? It's from Seth Crapp, Dr. Crapp.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this 23 years. So I'm in Dallas right now. I'm doing a program today for the DFW Airport Commission. DFW is the third largest airport in the world, right? So we modify and work with all type of clients, whether it's manufacturing, franchising, financial services. Business boils down to fundamentals, honestly. And if you can't execute basic business fundamentals, the industry matters a little bit less than you understand the fundamentals. So, for example, you better learn how to sell at a high level. You better learn how to market at a high level. You better learn how to provide service at a high level. You better learn how to negotiate at a high level. There's certain fundamentals that apply to all industries, but yes, we do modify and tailor everything that we do based on the client need and exactly what they do in their industry. We're about to do some sales trainings for lawyers, attorneys. People don't think about attorneys being sales reps. When you acquire a client, you're selling them on your services. A general counsel, all they do all day is buy legal services all day long. So even legal industries, you better learn how to sell. Listen, finally, I have a QR code on the screen. You've been eating through COVID. You know how to use a QR code. Capture that and get some more information about what we do at Peak Performance Huddle. And Peak Performance Huddle, that formula I shared today, that's all we are about. And when people plug in, I'm telling you, in 12 months, we've had people double their income in 12 months. Why? Because we put pressure on them with time. Stop taking so freaking long. get to your spot as soon as possible, and then we can keep moving you up the food chain. Grab that QR code and let's get to work.
All right, and guys, also, and I'm going to ask for Michelle to put it back into the chat one more time, the link to Walter's ICABA profile. So for our members, their profile is there for you to be able to reach out to them and connect with them and learn more about them. And I'm going to just I'm going to take a little of my time on the back end so we can get this one question answered. And that was, because I thought it was such a good question, and that is, what was your biggest failure, Walter, that you had to overcome?
Oh, we filed bankruptcy. Our first business, we bought a franchise, failed. And it was a painful, expensive. I look, I don't hold nothing back. I don't, I tell the good, the bad, and the ugly. My wife and I bought a franchise because we thought it could make money. And it taught me, like, man, I played basketball because I love playing basketball. We bought a franchise not because we loved it. We bought a franchise because we thought it could make money. So you can't have a business merely just to make money. It's got to become a passion, And then we filed bankruptcy, lost it all. And I love motivating people. And I looked at my wife, I said, man, look, why don't we start a motivational speaking business? I do it all day long. This is who I am. And so within 3 years, I'm telling you, we doubled our MBA income. Why? Because I got a chance to do something that I love. So the first question you got to ask yourself, man, do I love what I do? If you don't absolutely love what you do, quit. Because you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your clients a disservice. You're doing God a disservice because he gave you some purpose. Get to your purpose and you'll love it. You can do it all day. And your money will just be your reward for being the best in the world at what you do. I don't worry about money. I don't even negotiate with my clients. My wife talk money. I go and do what I do because I love doing what I do. And so my biggest lesson in failure was filing bankruptcy, but it was a great lesson. But here's what's crazy about it. Because I owned the franchise, it's how I got deep into the franchising world and how I got connected to Jersey Mike's. So even though I made a mistake getting into franchising, God still blessed us through the mistake because now our biggest client is a franchise. So even when you fail, you can fail forward if you know God. But I ain't gonna preach today. I'm just gonna reel that back in because I feel like preaching right now. But man, we failed out bankruptcy, got busted, lost it all. And in 3 years, man, we rose again because we started to do what we love and what we're passionate about.
All right, Walter. Thank you, my brother. And so you guys know, the ICABA Biz Connect comes to you through the ICABA Founders Advisory Network. And we're on our way to being the world's largest group of Black founders. And, Walter's a part of this group, and some other folks that are on here are also a part of it. And we invite all of you to join and be a part. And what we're doing is we are creating a group where iron sharpens iron, because you need, as Walter said, people to help you to overcome obstacles that you're going to run into. You're going to need people to help you to meet challenges and take advantage of opportunities. And no one knows it all by themselves. All these great CEOs, all these great basketball players, all these great entertainers, all these great, athletes, they all have coaches. They all have somebody that is giving them something that they did not come with to get the best out of what they have. They need somebody that pushes them beyond what they think they're capable of and get to that next level. Do not do this thing called life, called your business, by yourself. Okay, best thing I can say to you. And Walter and Antoinette and Peak Performance Huddle, we're partnering, and we're so excited that we're going to be able to continue to grow what ICABA is doing to help you to grow and succeed. So I'm going to go now to Sharon. I want to talk a little bit about this young lady who is going to be our next speaker. Her name is Dr. Deeawn Roundtree, and Dr. Roundtree is just phenomenal. She is also helping people in terms of optimizing their talent, to become better leaders, helping you to find people that are going to work right, they're going to work well in your organization. She says that your success is her business and her superpower is leadership, because she is called to empower leaders and professionals to reach their full potential. She's a certified disc trainer with the John Maxwell team, and she has 2 terminal degrees. So she's Dr. Deeawn Roundtree. And so without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Deeawn Roundtree. And Deeawn, it is all yours.
Oh, thank you, Hutch. It's such a pleasure to be here. So good to see my entrepreneurial partners here. Walter, you are always phenomenal. I've been listening to you for years, 10 years at least, and you're doing great things, always inspiring. Thank you for all that you do and for giving back to the community. And that's the way I want to start this. I have been motivated to start my business full-time after being in academia for over 15 years, being in corporate America for another 15 years, kind of doing them side by side. And the Lord told me to take that step of faith. He said, it's now or never in 2021. And I heard his cry. I would like to share with you that, yes, I have 2 doctoral degrees, and one is in business administration and one is in ministry. That doctorate of ministry was, I was blindsided by that. That was not my goal, but God said so. So I listened, I heeded. And I think, Walter touched on that. We have to heed the Lord's call. When you're doing what you love, you will soar. And it doesn't feel like work. And even though things aren't perfect in your life, your business isn't structured perfectly, it does take time to learn things. Don't be discouraged. One of the other things God led me to do is write my second book called Leading from Within, a faith-based perspective on leadership. My first book is Beyond the Boardroom, Learn How to Play and Win at the Game of Corporate Politics. I was motivated to write that first book, Beyond the Boardroom, because I didn't understand what was expected of me in the workplace. I went in blindsided. Culture shock. Where I came from, the projects of Philadelphia is where I was born, and my mother struggled out of there until I was much older. And what I learned is I had to work hard for everything I did, but it motivated me to get educated and to do everything I could to be successful. I was #1 in my district, #1 in my region, #2 in the nation at Johnson & Johnson in the pharmaceutical industry. So that sales experience, the administrative experience, and of course, being in academia as a full-time professor and business director, starting at Lincoln University outside of Philadelphia, all culminated for me to be this entrepreneur that I've been full-time. I've been doing this for many years part-time, here and there as a side hustle. But when God said move, I moved. And it has been a tremendous adventure. People hire me to train their employees, their partners, themselves so that they can take their businesses to the next level. Train their employees because they're trying to teach them how to communicate effectively, how to be interpersonally relatable, interpersonally. Because when we, let our accomplishments, our degrees, our experience go to our head, we become unapproachable, unrelatable. And that's what causes conflict. That's scripture, because we start thinking about ourselves. So what I love doing is helping people to get along with each other professionally so that you can attain your goals successfully. And that's why I love my motto. And that motto is, your success is my business. That's what I'm all about. Whether it's being an entrepreneur, whether it's being a corporate leader, or whether it's just getting promoted. I just worked with a phenomenal attorney, and she came in ground zero. She left her full-time position at her firm, and we worked for several months. Today, she is a millionaire, just working with me one-on-one, getting her mindset right, #1, learning emotional intelligence and self-awareness, #2, and being strategic in her goal setting. Once she got her goals in place, there was no stopping her. Another young lady, she worked at Temple University in Philadelphia. Right out of college, got her master's degree, and she hated her job. Worked together several months. Today, she just told me she got her dream job. And it was all because I helped her to navigate through the process, to interview professionally, get her mindset right, to think more positively. What can you give? My strategic model for my business is giving back. A lot of people are looking at how much money they can take from you. I look at how can I make your life easier? What gap can I fill in your organization? That's why I've won many awards for giving back to the community. And that was authentic. It was something I was doing when I was a full-time professor and director at South University. But when I left my position, full-time position, I continued to give back. That's how I've gotten to be known, liked, and trusted. Nope, I'm not a celebrity, not today, maybe in the future, but by giving back to others, putting others' needs first, I became successful. And I am building these strategic relationships. I agree, I need a coach. Yes, I'm coaching people all day. I'm training, going into corporate America. I'm working with people one-on-one, both for-profit and nonprofit. I'm an AKA, and they have me, training their leaders in our chapters, and I'm doing what I love. But the foundation is Christ first and giving back. So if you're trying to learn how to scale your business to get known, liked, trusted, yes, give back to your community. When people know, like, and trust you and realize it's not all about you, they will open
Thank you,
their
Deeawn.
hearts.
We're gonna gotta wrap up and start moving on. But
Thank you, Hutch.
you're more than welcome, and I'm gonna put you on the Michelle, you've got her link so people can connect with her. One of the things that you've heard both, in terms of with Walter, and also you've heard now with Deeawn, and it really is about a coach. And how many times has anyone here tried to put something together, okay, that you bought, where you had to assemble it in order to use it? And as you went about assembling it, you felt like, oh, I know how to figure this out. And so you start putting it together without reading the instructions, okay? Or you got the first couple of instructions and then you started working on it. And then you realize, oops, I forgot to put this screw in here. I put this there, and you had to go back and start over again. Guys, it's about life. Life is all about being sure that if you want to get to where you want to go more effectively, more efficiently, find someone who's already done it. And that is what they do to help you get there. So our next speaker here, I want to introduce, and as Tresa will ask for Michelle to pull up your profile there, is Tresa Chambers. She is the CEO of 10th Muse Enterprises. And one of the things I heard Walter talk about was his book. And if you are thinking about a book, or you're looking at doing some things that are going to help you to be able to grow your brand and get more out of what you're doing, I think that Tresa will be able to help you to do that. Well, here we go. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, Michelle, I'll tell you what, let me do it from here. I already have her up, so I'll take over. All right, so Tresa's, her about Tresa Chambers is empowering diverse voices in the creative community to make an impact on the world while improving their personal economy. Her superpower is vision. She sees the possibilities for others to draw on her connections to what brings possible to reality. So without any further ado, I am going to move over and bring Tresa to the front. And Tresa, take over. It is all yours.
Thanks, Hutch. I really want to acknowledge Walter and Deeawn for their presentations. And I love that both of them have published books, because that's a great jumping off point for our conversation. So the first thing I want to talk about is what publishing is, right? Because historically, we think about publishing as book publishing primarily, right? Or publishing an article in a magazine. But in the 21st century, in 2024, we really have to think more broadly about what publishing actually is. And then we'll talk a little bit more about why it matters that you do publish and where. So I have a master's degree in publishing from Pace University in New York, and I spent 5 years as a journalist at Time Magazine. That was the first time that I was published was in Time Magazine at the age of 23. And I have worked on books since then and contributed to other people's books. I have written articles for Black Enterprise, Sister to Sister magazine, and I've contributed as communications director to a number of articles for large corporations, including the American Heart Association most recently. And so I've really gotten a broad perspective on what that is. I've also produced podcasts. And so I really want you all to think about what publishing means. It is more than getting your words printed in a book or a magazine. Publishing is the creation, and this is my definition that I made while I was in graduate school. Publishing is the creation and dissemination of your ideas on different platforms that are public. And so when you think about that, you really should think about what the opportunities are for you to get your ideas out into the world, to really become what now is being called a thought leader. Yes, you can have an aspiration to want to write a book, but publishing a book can be very intimidating, right? And so a lot of times that can inhibit you from actually starting to write or to even think about putting your ideas out into the world. So what I want to encourage you to do is to think about what it is that you've already done first that you've published, right? What have you created and put out into the world already that has put forth your ideas about who you are as an expert in whatever area? It could be something that's related directly to your business, but it could also be something that's related to your lifestyle. All of those things build up to your brand, but it also builds up your voice and your thought leadership and your positioning that way. So take a minute to think about that as I'm talking through what some options are. Now, when we think about that ultimate goal of publishing a book, it's a journey. And a lot of people have taken it on themselves to self-publish. And while I have some mixed views about that, I love to encourage people to get their ideas out. But here's a bit of data that helps you think about this a little bit. Before Amazon, there were about 150,000 books published a year, and they were distributed primarily through bookstores, book clubs, and libraries. In 2023, there were 20 million books published on Amazon, okay? 20 million. Now, if you're trying to position yourself and get visibility as a thought leader to influence people, to get people to pay attention to what you think and to influence them to take your approach, follow your method, how are they going to find you among the sea of 20 million writers? And the quality is not the same, but that doesn't matter because people don't know until they look at your book whether the quality is there or not. So if you really want to position yourself, think about taking some interim steps to publish and then plan your book so that everything that you're thinking about, everything that you're writing is building up to being able to tell your story the way that you want to, and even evolve the way that you're telling your story, because you may think that you're going to be putting out a book one way and a story or an idea, a set of ideas one way, but you may land someplace else, and that's a process. So taking the time to look at the different platforms that are in your industry, you can publish in your industry, writing, contributing to articles, contributing to newsletters. You can publish podcasts. You can be, if you're on an episode of a podcast being interviewed or hosting, you're being published. If you are creating content like this on video, this will be published. It'll be put into the public realm. So consider everything that you do and every place that you appear as adding to your body of work that ultimately can be aggregated in a way where you can publish and put forth the ideas that are really valuable for the audience that you're trying to reach. And my mission is always to help you find and connect with your target audience. And because of my experience, both on the editorial side and the marketing and publishing side, I'm able to help walk through that process. So whether it's developing a marketing strategy and a plan, helping you find awards that you can submit your book idea to, even before you get published, thinking about marketing before you publish. Those are the things that I'm here to help with, and ultimately to get you launched and get you visibility for your brand as an author and as a writer and as a thought leader. How did I do on my time, Judge?
Sorry, I was muted. Great job. Thank you so much. And so guys, one of the things that Tresa mentioned is that there's a lot of folks out there who are writing books these days. And so if you have not, really taken the time to understand how you're going to market your book, because the competition has gotten very, very crowded. And so I saw somebody make the comment the other day, self-publishing, works. Self-promoting, not so much. You need some help with that. Okay. So the one thing you don't want to do is to have a book and then have a bunch of boxes of books in your home because you weren't able to sell them because you weren't marketing and promoting them in the way that really helps you to stand out with all the people who are publishing, today in this crowd. So it is now time for me to bring back for a encore performance. Brother named Bryan Cunningham. And Bryan, has such a great, if you will, business, because we were talking about access to capital. And one of the things that, particularly for us, we don't kind of grow up with the relationships with people who are in banking, whose dads own banks or the mama was the head of the bank and so on and so forth. And this world is really all about relationships. But we've got a relationship with a guy named Bryan Cunningham, who not only has multiple, if you will, sources of capital, but he understands you. He understands your culture. He has that cultural relevancy to your life experience, and he will help you to make sure that what you say and how you present yourself is done in a way that is going to be most advantageous for you to succeed. So, Bryan, I'm going to pull you up, brother, and he runs a company called Business Briefings, and Business Briefings is a phenomenal company that can help you to reach the capital. Matter of fact, I want to tell this one quick story about you, Bryan. You remember you gave me a call one day, won't mention any names. Said, hey, man, you recommended this guy to me for a loan. We've approved it for $150,000 and I can't reach him. Well, I said, well, damn, hold it. I called the guy up. I said, hold on, Bryan. Got on the other line. I called the guy up and said, hey, man, you telling me that they're asking you and you haven't been able to get your money? They're telling me they're looking for you because they got the money. Next thing you know, we did a three-way call, and about 3 weeks later, there was a closing. We were all taking pictures.
That's
so
right. That's
you
right.
went that extra mile, and he was an ICABA member, and so he was able to get the funding that he needed. So this is what I'm talking about. You need people who are going to go that extra mile for you, and that's Bryan Cunningham.
Thanks a lot, Hutch, and you're right. ICABA, we've funded several businesses within ICABA, and this network is really great to work. It's all about a business community. So I'm here to talk to you about access to capital. Just back from Ohio with the Great Lakes Lending Conference, where we had a tri-state meeting with all the lenders, all the CDFIs, and made a lot of connections in terms of lenders and funding sources. So just want to come and talk to you about, show me the money. At the end of the day, a business is capital is vital to a business. How that capital flows, how that cash flow flows, and you have ups and downs as the way it goes. And so sometimes you're going to need access to capital, and there are different products and understanding. You have regular bank, conventional financing, and you also have some CDFIs, which are community development financial institutions that are nonprofit lenders. Sometimes they'll take a little more time with you, provide technical assistance, and the goal is to help you get to conventional side, regular banking finance. So just want to talk to you about several products that we have. Also, too, I see a person on the call that we assisted getting some $10,000 in the pitch competition with one of the local cities here, and it's great to see you on the call as well. So access to capital, it's all about loans to help you in the short-term and long-term needs to help you provide, gain opportunities for your business and make it grow and relate to your goals. Typically, credit scores around, minimum scores around 620. Loan terms are being between 6 months to 10 years. Minimum about cash flow, monthly sales and about $5,000 a month minimum. We always look at cash flow. So different types of credit. There's business lines of credit. Say you have you've got a contract with Broward County. Your invoices are taking between 30 and 60 days to get financed. We can get you a line of credit up to 150,000 or more to help you to work your business, work your contracts, and keep the cash flow going. Also, there's equipment financing. Say you have some machinery, you're looking to purchase some equipment for your restaurant, any type of equipment you need. This equipment financing that we can get up to about 150,000, 250,000, and that term is usually 1 to 5 years. Minimum FICO score is about 580. And then, of course, there's the SBA. There's 2 different products that we have. We can go up to $6 million on both. One is the SBA 7A loan. As well, it's basically for working capital, furniture, fixtures, supplies, and payroll, marketing, those types of things. There's also the 504, which is an affordable term for capital, for the purchase of capital assets, whether it be a building, owner-occupied commercial or real estate, energy-efficient green projects. There's a big push for energy-efficient green projects right now, and they're looking for minorities that are in that field to really fund those businesses for the clean energy bill that just passed. And both of these loans are backed by the SBA, and they are federally funded loans. There's also a $50,000 SBA Express loan. Is pretty easy to get, and that's a maximum of about $50,000. We just funded a young lady in the CRA. Hutch knows she's part of ICABA as well. She's doing a salon and some things, so she needed an additional capital stack, so we were able to fund her on that project. Accounts receivable financing. Sometimes there are folks that, you're a supplier, got a young man who's got his spices in retail outlets and Publix and Kroger's, and he has receivables that he needs to fund to be able to get his cash so we can work it a little more flexible as he's in the market. We can do gross sales about 500,000, 6 to 10 months, 6 to 10 years in terms of financing that you're going to need to have in terms of the terms. And it helps you to smooth out your cash flow as you wait on those receivables to come to get paid. And of course, there's asset-based loans. Those loans are where your company or assets or receivables, equipment, real estate, and collaterals to help you secure the funding. I've got a client right now that we're working with in Memphis, and working with a lender over there, and we're collateralizing some of the business assets to secure the loan. And of course, we have startup funding. Now, that's a usual difficult thing sometimes, but we do have access. I do have some lenders that do some financing for startups, even with little about no sales. So contact me with that. There's several agencies here in South Florida that do that, and I have a resource for them. And usually terms would be about 1 to 5 years. Maximum amount is about $25,000 to $5,000 initially for a startup. Then, of course, real estate, fix and flip. There's a lot of folks out here building their wealth through real estate. So real estate investors can access up to 80 to 100% loan to value to purchase and renovate their homes.
Hey, Bryan, we've got
yes.
to wrap up, but is there any one particular thing you want to leave everybody with before we go?
Absolutely. So the one thing that as a business owner, the best time to get capital, apply for capital, is when you don't need it. The worst time to get it is when you're pressed and you need it. So I left my information in the chat, my email's there. Let's set up a discovery call, and I look forward to working with you to gain access to this capital. Also to help you work it once you get it. Thanks a lot, Hutch.
Right. Thank you, Bryan. One of the things I want to do as we close out today's ICABA Business Connect is to let you know, guys, that our goal is not to, teach you or, do a comprehensive, in-depth webinar on any one particular subject. However, what we are doing is providing you with access and visibility as a member of ICABA to the rest of the network and to other people in the marketplace who need to know who you are, what you do, and how it would benefit them so you guys can do business. Also, so members of the network who are looking for people who have certain expertise, products, and services that they need that's within the network. So it's really a great showcasing opportunity. You're here, and we ask every speaker to say who you are, what you do, you know, what benefit that what you do has for the person that's listening, and then to be able to connect. So that's why it's called ICABA Biz Connect. We're connecting you to relationships, information, and opportunities to help you to grow your business and succeed. So we move these things pretty fast, and that's one of the reasons we do, but we make sure that you're going to hear from people that have something of value for your business. And so as I'm wrapping up, please take the survey in terms of the ICABA Biz Connect experience. It really will help us to be able to, you know, get better and providing you with the topics, the speakers that you're looking for. Also, we want to use this to share. If you know of an organization or a resource that is really valuable, and one of the things that we're going to be adding to the ICABA Biz Connect going forward is that we're going to take a little time, like a couple of minutes at every one of our Biz Connects to share. It may be a loan resource. It may be a place where you can hire people. It may be a place where you can get technical and management assistance, any number of different things that can help you succeed in your business. So we need you to assist us and just, hey, if you found a resource, it might be a website, it may be a company, it might be an individual. Just let us know. We're going to be posting those things in our community so people will be able to go there and get access to it as well. So we thank everybody for being here. And I'm going to put us up right now on full gallery screen because I know that Jackie is here and she was going to tell me to do it if I hadn't done it. So this is where everybody, you know, you turn on your camera, you look up, you smile, you give us a thumbs up, and we're going to take a screenshot. And our media strategist, Ms. Jackie Jimenez, is going to recap this. So on the countdown, 3. Yeah, wait a minute, we're coming on. Let me let this people coming on more. Okay. All right. 3. Well, there's one more. Hold on. Go ahead, DeAndrea. All right. It's okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you, guys. The last thing I want to tell you is that next week we've got Rick Beasley coming from the Career Work Source. One of the things that I know that everybody here, you need talent and you need people working in your business. And in order to succeed, not only do you have to get talent, but there's that saying that you got to get the right people in the right seat, and they've got to be doing the right things. And so we also going to ask, and I'm going to talk to her after this, but I'm going to try to bring DeAndrea Smith back with us next week with Rick Beasley to talk to you guys. Rick has a lot of programs that will help you to hire people and reduce your cost of bringing them in. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can hire people through internships or other programs that the Career Source will help pay for that employee that you need to bring on board. So he's got a lot of great information for you. And what he'll tell you about is available no matter where you are, because these are federal programs that operate in the local markets. So what he talks about, you know, as being out of Miami will be same thing that you could do in Chicago or in Miami or Fort Lauderdale or Palm Beach or wherever. And also we'll talk about different things in terms of fractional HR people that can help you with the things that you're doing, because you probably don't have the opportunity to hire an HR department or a head of HR. But today you can go get someone that can help you with those things at a fraction of the cost it would have been normally if you were trying to hire somebody. So thank you for being here. We'll see you again next Wednesday at ICABA Biz Connect, same place, and 8:30 next Wednesday. Have a great day, everybody. Be blessed, and thank you for being here.
Level up your success with the ICABA World Network, where accomplished Black professionals and entrepreneurs have created a thriving global ecosystem built from valuable connections and impactful collaborations. Be a part of a trusted network that uplifts, inspires, and enhances your success. Join like-minded and leading Black professionals to foster meaningful relationships, unlock opportunities, and access the resources you need to thrive in your career, business, and life. Go to ICABAworldnetwork.com and join today.